Solomon Grundy arrived on a Monday. Yeah, I got my Solomon Grundy on Monday today, and I thought I'd review this thing. Yeah, there's only a couple reviews on it up at YouTube, and I decided, hey, let's review another pretty new Batman Arkham figure. This is the Batman Arkham City Deluxe Solomon Grundy from DC Collectibles, and this thing is massive. Standing at about 13 inches tall, this is one of the biggest toys I have in my collection. It is absolutely gigantic. I'm certainly going to get into size comparisons here soon, but first, let's look at the packaging. So let's get this huge guy out of the way. He is really heavy, too. I think the packaging shipped in says about 7 pounds. Of course, that includes the packing material, but still. Arkham Deluxe Solomon Grundy. You can see me in the back because there's a lot of window box. And in there you can see some Arkham details, DC Collectibles. Arkham Deluxe figure. And yeah, this is an absolutely gigantic box. And I can't. It's so huge I actually got to lift it up. You can see some of my other shelves back there. Huge picture of Grundy there. And then the back, this is funny. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, but perfect for display any day of the week. Wow, they really said that, didn't they? Yep, they did. So, the other side is the generic picture of Grundy. Yeah, I'm just holding this right now. And that's it with the packaging. So, getting Grundy back into frame here. This guy is enormous! Oh boy, he is enormous. I'm going to give you 3 size comparisons right now. I'm sorry it's not really on focus right now because I have it focused just where you can see the finer details of Grundy. So, just for the sake of size comparisons, you won't be able to see a lot of detail on Grundy right now. Here he is with another Arkham Deluxe figure, Killer Croc. Let's set Croc down there and show you the size. Yeah, he is massive. So there's Croc. By the way, this is a really cool figure if you know the trick on how to make sure that doesn't break. Here he is with a basic Arkham figure, Scarecrow. So yeah, you can. I mean, this is a 6-7 inch figure, so yeah, you're getting a lot with this. And here he is with a basic Star Wars 3 3/4 inch figure, and yeah, you actually can't see him in the frame right now because he's all the way down there. So yeah, any of you Star Wars fans, this is what I'm dealing with here. It's absolutely massive. I really want to look into the details on this thing a lot, because typically I'm not a huge detail guy, but considering the fact that you have to pay $80 for this, detail is a huge selling point on these kind of figures, especially from DC Collectibles. As you can see, there is loads of detail just on the head alone. I mean, you can see, I love moving his head around. Oh, yeah. But as you can see, there's just loads of detail all over. Like, you can see a scratch on his skin there. His eyes look really nice. His teeth, you can see how his lips have rotted away. Which, oh, I can't imagine having my lips gone. But, you can see all over the veins. Then there's scuff marks all over him. Fortunately, mine has a bit of paint wear there and a bit of paint wear on his neck. But it's nothing to complain about. What is to complain about, however, is the figure's falling. Yeah, happens a lot. But all over the place. I mean, even his jacket. Look at this jacket here. Unfortunately, it's glued on, but I'll tell you how you can have him in his rage mode. But as you can see, all over, just immense detail. I mean, just look at his arms, all the stitching patterns, all the cracks, all the veins. Unfortunately, this is plastic and he doesn't come with his wrecking balls, but it's probably one of my few gripes about it, but all over. Jeez. I mean, just his chest piece there, which you can remove his chest. All over, I mean, his torn pants, and jeez, all over, and his huge Grundy feet. I mean, these things, yeah, this is, his foot is almost as long as my thumb, so pretty big foot for a pretty big figure. Yeah, this thing is enormous. Absolutely enormous. Getting into the articulation before I show off some other features. And let's just flip him around too. Yeah, I actually have to move my camera to flip him around. I mean, he's taking up a lot of my desk right now. I mean, even the back of his jacket, you can see loads of detail. Just just all over. Die son. Die And just flipping him around again. His articulation is actually pretty good for how big he is. He has a double ball jointed neck, so he can go like oh, okay, I'm gonna stop that. And you can tilt it from side to side. Unfortunately, with how they made his neck, his head, whenever you turn it to side, it always looks a bit crooked. But it's not a big problem. He you know, there's no reason for him to look up, but he can look down decently. I mean, it's not. Typically, he's always just looking at you like, I'm gonna kill you in your sleep. But I mean, really great head articulation there. He has huge, hefty, ball-jointed shoulders. And do not worry about this, guys. He is not like Killer Croc whatsoever. Because, as you can see, even though he does have... Oh, good lord, he's so massive, I don't even know if I can get this into the frame. I'm going to have to actually pick up the camera here. I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm really going to have to manipulate it. But as you can see, he has really hefty translucent joints in there. They are ginormous. Just hefty joints in there, and I still hate that they use translucent joints. But it is nothing like Killer Croc whatsoever. A hefty bicep swivel. And a really good elbow bend. I mean, you can just see how it's creaking the camera and just, you know, making it shake with how hefty the joints are, because he's sturdy on the desk and he's making the camera shake. Fortunately, the elbow doesn't bend too much, but I don't really think it needs to. And as you can see here, the hands are on ball joints, so that's really nice. Bending it down again. His legs are probably where the biggest disappointment lies, because he has... Oh god, it's hard to do this. He has a pretty good joint there, I have to say, but I mean, it doesn't really go forward enough, and he doesn't have like a bicep or knee swivel, so he really can't crouch down properly. And considering how big he is, it's kind of a problem if you want him to fight Batman. Really hefty knee joint there, and for stability reasons, no ankle joints, which I really like, really like that he has no ankle joints. I feel like that was a problem with Killer Croc. And reviewer JTrain997 probably fell prey to those ankle joints, and his Killer Croc's tooth chipped. So, yeah, Killer Croc has had a lot of problems, and Grundy here, thank goodness, does not suffer from similar problems. Does not. His main feature, however, is that you can remove his chest. I wish there were a few more parts to this instead of 2. I wish there were 3, considering the fact that when you do remove his chest, which you can just get into this little groove here and remove it, you can see how his rib cage is already open. And his rib cage was always on him during the boss fight, all the way until the end when Batman finished him off. So I wish you could remove this. It's molded on. But I wish you could remove this and also plug it on there, covering the heart. But unfortunately you can't. But I mean, look at all that detail just on the part you really don't see. Good lord. Amazing. Absolutely 100% impressed with this. And look at inside here. I mean, you can see his lungs and his intestines, and there's his heart. Bit of his bone. I mean, it's really gruesome. And here's his heart. His heart is really big too. Just showing you a comparison with his heart to, let's just say, Scarecrow's head. Yeah. I don't think Scarecrow's heart's that big. Do you? No, I don't. But, I mean, just the head comparison. Just look at that. Absolutely enormous. Now, unfortunately, you're not supposed to remove the vest, but I'm not going to remove the vest in this video. I can just say you can remove the vest. It's glued on by these little slots and pegs here. It doesn't look pretty when you remove it, but as you can see, it's just glued on, and I broke the glue seal, so as you can see, it's just, I mean, I can remove this, and when it stays in place pretty well when after this is done. But if you don't like that feature, you can just always glue it back on, and there really won't be any problems with your Grundy. But just let me say this, for around $80, which is the price this thing's going for, I would say it's pretty much worth it. I got mine for a lot cheaper, thank goodness. But $80 is pretty good. I would say if you really want Solomon Grundy, I think $80 is worth it. And considering the fact that Mattel only made a Build-A-Figure, I think this would fit pretty good with like any DC collection. Just considering the fact that it's a huge Solomon Grundy, and I loved his boss fight in Arkham City. So I'm really glad to have Solomon Grundy in my collection. Now my only worry is, how am I going to put him on my shelf? Yeah, my shelf doesn't exactly go 13 inches high. It goes 12 inches high, but not 13, and he really can't crouch down all that much. So I'm going to have to either move my Arkham stuff or just have Grundy somewhere else. But I really guess that is it with this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Batman Arkham City Deluxe from DC Collectibles, Solomon Grundy. This is JCC2224 saying, this wasn't the review you needed, but it was the review you deserved. Later, guys.